Today, we're going to get into a really important topic, something that's not always easy to talk about: emotional abuse. And not the kind that involves shouting and screaming. No, we're talking about the quiet kind, the subtle kind, where the damage is done in whispers, not yells. Have you ever walked away from a conversation just feeling weird, kind of confused, maybe a little small, but you can't for the life of you figure out what just happened? You might even find yourself laughing along to something they said, but deep down, your stomach is in knots.
So let's start right there, with that off feeling. Because honestly, that's usually the first sign. This isn't about some big dramatic act of cruelty. It's about these small, confusing little moments that make you question your own feelings.
See, here's the thing. A single comment, a single weird look, you can brush that off. But when it becomes a pattern, like a constant, quiet drip, well, that's what starts to wear you down. It chips away at your confidence, your sense of reality, and who you are. It's destruction by 1,000 tiny cuts.
So let's just put a clear definition on this. Emotional abuse is any pattern of harmful behavior that's used to have power and control over someone else. Those are the key words, right? Pattern, power, and control. This is not about someone having a bad day. It's a system, whether they realize it or not, designed to make you smaller so they can feel bigger. So what do these hidden warning signs actually look like? If we're not looking for a big explosion, what are we looking for? Well, the real clues are way more subtle. Let's pull back the curtain on some of these signs that are so easy to miss.
Okay, first up, disguised criticism. This is the insult that comes dressed up as something else. It might sound like a joke, or maybe some helpful advice, or even, "I'm just being honest." But the result is the same. It's a little jab at your passions, your appearance, your ideas, all delivered with a smile. And then you get this line, right? This is the classic get out of jail free card. It's absolutely brilliant in a terrible way. They get to say whatever hurtful thing they want, and then they make you the bad guy for being hurt by it. All of a sudden, you're the one who's too sensitive, and they're completely off the hook. All right, next we've got what I call emotional whiplash. 1 minute, they're the most charming, loving person in the world. And the next, they're cold, they're distant, and you have no idea why. It's this constant up and down that keeps you completely off balance.
The effect of this is just devastating. You end up on high alert all the time, constantly replaying things in your head, trying to figure out what you did to cause the shift. You're basically walking on eggshells, trying not to set off a landmine you can't even see.
Now, this one is particularly cruel. It's when affection itself is turned into a weapon. So when they're upset with you, they don't just get quiet, they make you disappear. You get the silent treatment, the cold shoulder. It's all a form of punishment, and it's designed to make you feel completely invisible. And what this really boils down to is that love becomes conditional. It's not something you're given freely anymore. It becomes a prize that you have to earn by acting the way they want you to act. The one thing that should be the foundation of a relationship, affection, gets twisted into a tool for control.
So you might be sitting there thinking, okay, this sounds awful. Why would anyone stay in a situation like that? And that is a totally fair question. The answer is, it's complicated, and it has a lot to do with the really strange ways our own minds try to keep us safe.
Psychologists have a name for this whole mess. It's called cognitive dissonance. It's that awful, uncomfortable feeling you get when two of your beliefs are fighting each other. And our brains absolutely hate that feeling. They will do just about anything to make it stop.
So here's how that looks in real life. On one side, you have the belief, this person loves me, they're a good person. But on the other side, you have the reality. Wow, what they just did really, really hurt me. Now, to get rid of that uncomfortable feeling, your brain has to change one of those stories. And it's often easier to change the story about the pain. So you start to think, oh, it wasn't that bad. Or even worse, you know what? I probably deserved that. If you have ever found yourself making excuses for someone who's hurting you, I need you to hear me on this. You are not weak. You are not crazy. You are human. It's just your brain trying its best to make sense of a situation that makes no sense at all. It's a survival instinct. But you know what? Here's the good news. The moment you start to see the pattern, that's the moment you start to get your power back. Just being aware of what's happening is a huge first step. So let's talk about a few things you can actually do to find some clarity. Okay, 4 things. First, just name it. Call it what it is, even if it's just to yourself. That was a guilt trip. That was gaslighting. Second, stop trying to explain yourself or negotiate your feelings with them. Your energy is precious. Save it. Third, find support. Isolation is the abuser's best friend, so connection is your lifeline. And finally, set boundaries that you can enforce.
And this is so, so important. A boundary is not about them. It's not, you need to stop yelling at me. It's, if you start yelling, I will leave the room. See the difference? A boundary is about what you will do to protect your own peace and your own safety. At the end of the day, this whole journey is about redirecting your energy. Think about all that effort you've been spending trying to manage their moods, trying to figure them out. It's time to take all of that energy and bring it back home, to yourself.
Because here's the truth. You can't control another person. You can't make them change or make them see how much they're hurting you. But you know what you can control? How you treat yourself. You can decide to give yourself the care and compassion you've been trying to get from them. You can become your own safe place. Your healing really starts the second you decide that you deserve to feel safe and respected. So I'll leave you with this question. Your safety is non-negotiable. It's not on the table. So what's the first brick you're going to lay to build a life that reflects that?